Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my 6 Samurai Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for December 2022. I always love updating the 6 Samurai deck. A lot of people really do like its playstyle. It's overall field swarming that you can do with the many different monsters, the different forms of extra deck summoning, having Synchro, Fusion, Link all available to you with this deck as well. And I'm just a big fan of the deck. It grew over me over time. I used to not really like it when I first got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Just because it was really the deck that everyone was playing. I did get back into the game around Storm of Ragnarok, but now it's become just basically a fun deck, and I feel like we can get some more support for it for sure. Haven't had any since, I believe, the Link 2 monster. There may have been some cards from Spirit Warriors, but I think the Link 2 monster came afterwards. But enough further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the 6 Samurai monsters, we are running 3 legendary 6 Samurai Kizan. If you control a face-up 6 Samurai other than Kizan, you can special summon this card from your hand. While you control 2 or more other face-up 6 Samurai, this card gains 300 attack and defense. So it's just an easy special summon. Kizan's not at once per turn. So if you have that other 6 Samurai monster and multiple Kizans in your hand, you can easily just add this card for that search onto the field and then use it for many of your other resources, being one of the better cards to use for the synchro summon of your go-to legendary 6 Samurai Shien with cards like Fuma, 6 Samurai for that synchro play, so a definite 3 of. I also run 3 legendary 6 Samurai Kageki. When it's normal summon, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower 6 Samurai monster from your hand, and while you control a 6 Samurai monster with a different card named this, it gains 1500 attack. So it's your booster, but another resource just to be able to easily summon out another 6 Samurai onto the field. And with Kageki and just another 6 Samurai, you can go into Battle Shogun of the 6 Samurai quite easily as well for that play to set up more of your cards and your Bushido counters on the field. For the last of the 3 ofs for the 6 Samurai monsters, I also run 3 copies of Grandmaster of the 6 Samurai. You can only control 1 Grandmaster of the 6 Samurai. If you control a 6 Samurai monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If it's in your possession, is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, target 1 6 Samurai monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So even if you have multiple Grandmaster in your hand, you can at least use the one you special summon onto the field with your other monster, and then go into the Link play once again. Like I said, just needing for the Link summon of Battle Shogun of the 6 Samurai 2 warrior monsters, including a 6 Samurai monster. Then you can just special summon out the other Grandmaster that you have onto the field with it. For some of the lower numbers for the other 6 Samurai cards, I also run 2 Secret 6 Samurai Fuma. When it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 6 Samurai monster from your deck except for Secret 6 Samurai Fuma. And if exactly 1 6 Samurai monster you control and no others would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So it's protection, but this card also works very, very well with our Shien's Dojo. Being able to activate this card, and then when you just summon out 1 6 Samurai monster, having the counters needed to summon out Fuma onto the field. I also run 2 Secret 6 Samurai Kizaru. When this card is special summoned, you can add from your deck to your hand 1 6 Samurai monster with a different attribute from every monster you control. And if exactly 1 6 Samurai monster you control and no others would be destroyed, it has the banish effect again. So being an earth attribute monster, you can at least use the playstyle with Kageki and Kizaru, special summoning it off of Kageki to then search out any of the next 6 Samurai monsters being a water and fire attribute. And those monsters being 2 legendary 6 Samurai Shinai and 2 legendary 6 Samurai Mizuho. With these cards, you can create sort of a loop. If you control a legendary 6 Samurai Shinai, you can special summon this card from your hand. That is Mizuho. And once per turn, you can tribute 1 other face-up 6 Samurai to target 1 card on the field and destroy it. And then with Shinai, if you control a legendary 6 Samurai Mizuho, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card on the field is tributed, target 1 6 Samurai in your graveyard except for Shinai and add to your hand. Creating more of that add-back special summon power you can do with your many different tributes, and then using your Shogun of the 6 Samurai to build up the Bushido counters to use with Gateway of the 6 Samurai also. I also, to finish off the 6 Samurai monsters, run 1 Secret 6 Samurai Hatsume. You can banish 2 6 Samurai from your graveyard and or face up from your field, then target 1 6 Samurai in your graveyard except for Hatsume and special summon it. You can only use this effect of Hatsume once per turn, and if exactly 1 6 Samurai monster you control and no others would be destroyed, it has the banish effect from the graveyard instead. So it's more setup, being another attribute that you can search off of Kizaru if you go with the Kageki and the Kizaru special summon, but also just giving you that banish for more special summoning from the graveyard. It's really just a one-of resource because it can can be easily searched out with other cards in the deck, and it's really all you need for that play. The last of the monsters that I run in the main deck are just 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, hand trap of choice to use in the deck, just being able to stop any of your opponent's searches if they end up going first against you. And that is it for the main deck monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. I run 3 Shien's Smoke Signal. You add 1 level 3 or lower 6 Samurai monster from your deck to your hand. So you have a good majority of searches with this card. You can either search out Shinai, Mizuho, Fuma, or Kageki off of this card, giving you plenty of monsters to add to your hand for you to make use of. And it's not a once per turn either. So if you have multiple Shien Smoke Signal in your hand, you can search out the 2 copies and, basically going for the Mizuho Shinai play right off of those searches you added. And I also run 3 Shien's Dojo. With this card, each time a 6 Samurai monster is normal or special summon, place 1 Bushido counter on this card. And you can send this card to the graveyard to special summon 1 6 Samurai or Shien effect monster from your main deck whose level is less than or equal to the number of Bushido counters on the card. So, like I said, with this card, if you just summon out 1 6 Samurai, that's enough to get out Fuma. But even if you build up more counters, you can get out other special summons. If you build up enough to summon out Kizaru, you'll have that special summon as well to add another 6 Samurai card, or even just getting out some of the lower level ones like Shinai or Mizuho to make use of also. And then I also run 2 6 Samurai United. Each time a 6 Samurai monster is normal or special summon, place 1 Bushido counter on this card, and you can send this card to the graveyard to draw 1 card for each Bushido counter on this card. So if you set up Shien's Dojo and 6 Samurai United on the field, and then go for the summon off of the normal summon, then go for Shien's Dojo, building up a counter, and then using Shien's Dojo to summon 1 more 6 Samurai monster on the field, that'll also give you a draw 2 off of 6 Samurai United. I only run 2 though most of the time. If I end up playing more than 2 6 Samurai United, I end up having multiples of those, but then not enough to build up monsters on the field quick enough for me to get the draws, and by the time I want to, my opponent end up either destroying the 6 Samurai United or not giving me a resource to get any more monsters on the field. And then lastly, for the 6 Samurai related spells, just 1 Gateway of the 6. It's still at 1 because it is a very extremely powerful card, but this card also can be searched off of your Battle Shogun of the 6 Samurai. When it's Link Summon, just being able to discard 1 card to add 1 card from your deck to your hand that has an effect that places Bushido counters. So this is a pretty good search to add off of this card. Each time a 6 Samurai monster is normal or special summon, place 2 Bushido counters on this card. You can remove Bushido counters to activate these effects. 2 counters, you can target a 6 Samurai or Shien monster that gains 500 attack till the end of the turn. 4 can add a 6 Samurai from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And 6 counters can target 1 Shien effect monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. This goes back to the loop I spoke of before, being able to use your Mizuho and Shinai for their own tributes and then add back to your hand with your Gateway of the 6 and continue a loop with the Bushido counters and just the overall resources you can build with this card and your Link monster. And for the other spells, I also run 2 World Legacy Succession for easy special summoning, 2 are Link Arrows with our go-to Link monster. And lastly, the spells, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Call by the Grave, and 1 Reinforcements of the Army, having easy warrior search for the majority of the monsters, and more special summon power just like World Legacy Succession with Monster Reborn. And then for the traps, I run 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence along with the Ash Blossom. Just another great way to stop your opponent's card effects going first and not having to worry about your opponent using other cards to stop Ash Blossom like Call by the Grave by being able to activate Infinite Impermanence on the field and having no fear of them trying to negate it. And then lastly for the traps, just a little favorite of mine, just 2 Rivalry of Warlords going first against your opponent and making it so they can only control 1 type of monster. Your majority of monsters that you run in the deck are warriors, so if you set up any of your 6 Samurai extra deck monsters on the field, especially with Shien, if you can stop their spell and traps and then also control how many or what type of monsters they have thanks to this card, it makes it all the scarier for them to go up against you. And that is it for the main deck. When I move on to the extra deck, I run 2 copies of Legendary 6 Samurai Shien. Needing a warrior tuner and a non-tuner samurai monster. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card, quick effect, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. If this card on the field will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy another 6 samurai monster you control instead. So this is the protection that you have off of Shien, and also just being able to negate the activation of a spell or trap card on the field makes Shien quite powerful. At a 2 of, especially, just having the option to get 2 out on the field makes it even more of a threat since it's not a hard once per turn negation with them, so being able to negate 2 cards thanks to Xian altogether. The other synchro monster that I run is 1 Borreload Savage Dragon. Just with our Link monster option to equip onto it, you have another card negation thanks to this card in the form of a monster negate. Since Xian handles the spell and traps, you can rely on Borreload Savage Dragon along with your Xian and other setup that you can get onto the field with this card to summon it out. And then for the Link monsters, I run 2 Battle Shogun of the 6 Samurai. You need 2 Warrior monsters, including a 6 Samurai monster. If this card's Link summoned, you can discard 1 card. Add 1 card from your deck to your hand that places a Bushido counter. You can only use this effect of Battle Shogun once per turn. And each time a 6 Samurai monster is normal or special summoned to a zone this card points to, you place 1 Bushido counter on this card. This card gains 100 attack for each Bushido card on it. So with the counters building up, you can make full use of your Gateway of the 6 because you can remove 2 Bushido counters from your field to activate this effect. You can even remove the Bushido counters that are on the Battle Shogun of the 6 Samurai to count for the card effects of your Gateway of the 6 Samurai. Very useful every time you summon a monster to one of the arrows, getting that 1 additional Bushido counter. And for the other Link monsters, I run 1 Isolde for the Warrior Search and setup, 1 Link Karibo in case you're stuck with a Fuma, because then you can at least summon out the Link Karibo, and then also use cards like World Legacy Succession to still get a special summon on the field. The 1 Nightmare Phoenix, along with the 1 Saryuja especially, for the draw, just to go into some of the more important cards with the deck, and just with how easily it is to swarm monsters on the field. And then lastly, for the Link monsters, the 1 Apollosa for more monster effect negation, just like with Borreload Savage Dragon. And then as for the other types of cards we run, for our fusion, I'm running 1 copy of Secret 6 Samurai Rahan. You need 3 6 Samurai monsters with different attributes. It must be first be special summoned from the extra deck by using the above cards you control. You do not use polymerization, you just send them to the graveyard. It cannot be used as fusion material. Once per turn, you can banish 1 6 Samurai card from your hand or face up on your field to target 1 card on the field and banish it. And if it's a Samurai you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So it's just a banish option to get over some other cards, being a 2400 attack by monster that you can just get out by sending 3 6 Samurai monsters with different attributes you control to the graveyard. It's just another good option for the extra deck plays, especially if your opponent somehow finds a way to lock you out of your Synchro or Link plays. And then for the Xyz monsters, I run 1 number 60 for the discard draw, 1 Tornado Dragon, 1 Exciton Knight, and the 1 Excalibur for more of the warrior plays. You could run Shadow of the Samurai. I'm not the biggest fan of it. If you were to, you can either take out the Excalibur or the Exciton Knight just so you have more of a 6 Samurai summon onto the field with that card. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, once again, the play you can set up with Xian's Dojo, and then also the 6 Samurai United is still one of my favorites, because with this card, you just have a 1-card warrior setup. So if you have, let's say, 6 Samurai Kizon in your hand, and these 2 cards, you can activate your Xian's Dojo, and then your 6 Samurai United, and then just normal summon out the Kizon, which I know a lot of times you want to special summon Kizon, but in this scenario, if you just go for that, you'll get the 2 counters on both of the spells. You can then remove the 1 counter off the Xian's Dojo to special summon out your go-to 6 Samurai Fuma. And then with that, you have 2 counters on your 6 Samurai United, which you can get rid of to draw 2 additional cards. Now, depending on what you draw off this card, you can get cards like your Grandmaster of the 6 Samurai, or even the potential to draw another Kizon, giving you more of a special summon on the field with both of these cards. And with that draw, you can either go for that, you can have the Warrior Search, the Gateway Search, more of the special summon plays. So if you draw cards like World Legacy Succession, then you can use these 2 cards to then instead go into your Battle Shogun, because then you can use the World Legacy Succession if you draw into other cards like more of your control base or card negation. You can go for the level 5 synchro play using both of these monsters and summon out your legendary 6 Samurai Xian, knowing you have the other cards like Ash Blossom or Infinite Impermanence in your hand for the card negation, or even the Rivalry of the Warlords to set up to control the field along with Xian and your other traps and hand traps. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, I always love updating the 6 Samurai deck, so I hope you all enjoyed the look into what I've made change-wise in it as well. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.